Hey friends, greetings from sunny Miami, Florida. I am creating some content. I'm on a momcation solo trip, so I'm creating some content for my other channel, Do Stuff with Steph, my travel vlog. And so I'm here in Miami, but before I can go play on the beach, which means sit in the sun and read my book, I have to get this what sold video done so that I can edit it in peace in the airport. I got a 3 hour layover today, so your girl needs something to do. But I am going to share with you what sold the third week of February. Now, this time of year gets very, very tricky as far as sourcing because we are transitioning seasons. You also have this in August, like that September area, October, but I feel that's more of a slow burn because the whole country gets colder slower. Whereas I feel like things can heat up in a day, and we have some very specific vacation times. People start taking spring break. Spring break is a huge travel time for starting with the college kids in 2 weeks, and then the high schools on all the way through Easter time in April. So, what are you sourcing? What's selling? I'm going to share with you what sold this past week for me, and stick to the end. I will tell you what my sourcing strategy is moving forward through this transition period.
Let me set the scene. We hustle hard, stacking green, living out the dream. From clothes to kicks, we got that vintage flair. You name it, we got it. All the styles you wanna wear. Started small, now we grow.
A little editing note: the sound is it's you can hear. I just don't like the background sound for the first part of the first third of the video. This is a really long video. It's an hour long what sold, but like the first 20 minutes I'm outside and I didn't realize like that my mic was a little distorted. So if you want to skip past the first part of the video, the sound gets good at is back normal at minute 24. But I hope you enjoy this what sold video. It was a very busy week, and so check it out. Thanks. So if you're new here, I am Stephanie with Three Queens Resell. I am a full-time reseller, but I also have like four other creative jobs that I'm working on too, including YouTube. So income comes from wherever I can get it. You can just call me a hustler, like not the bad kind, but a person who hustles. So in this video, I'm going to share with you what sold. And I think what sold videos are just as important, probably more important than haul videos, because haul videos, you get to see all the fun stuff that I picked up. On the what sold videos, you get to see what sold and if I made any money on it. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Most of the times that I do. So we're going to start off with Sunday, February 16th. So this is February 14th in my head marks the change in transition and season. So I start thinking that people start looking forward to spring because I start looking forward to spring. So let's see if that bears out and what is selling. So starting off, we had one, two, four, five sales on Poshmark, and the first one is this North Face men's quarter zip gray extra large or 2XL. And I did do a closet clear out on this Sunday. I try to do one every Sunday and every Friday. And right now I'm really focusing on clearing and seeing out winter stuff. So with closet clear out, the customer is going to get an offer that is 10% lower and a shipping discount that Poshmark picks up. That's why I like to do closet clear outs, because it allows the customer to get a shipping discount, and that might make them pull the trigger a little easier. But this North Face men's quarter zip gray 2XL sold for $20 after the $4 in fees. I was left with 16 that had been listed since November 7th, 2024. Next up was this REI technical long sleeve gray size small. Typically these can go for more, and I mentioned this in an earlier video, but I am repricing things on Poshmark, and I had a over 1,000 things that were under $10 just because of closet clear out after closet clear out, and I wasn't resetting them. So I am working on doing that so that things, when people make an offer on Posture VA and it automatically accepts, it won't. I won't have these low sales. It's a technical like little glitch in my system because I do closet clear out so often that things go lower, 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 and that I needed to actually manually go in and raise them back up to where they should be. So I've been picking a number, a dollar amount each day. Um, so and readjusting those just so I know where I am. I know that is complicated and convoluted, but explains why some of these things have sold for so low. But this sold for $8 after the $2.95 in fees. I made 505, and that was listed since August 24th of 24. Next up was this flax long sleeve button down black tunic size 2X. I love the brand Flax, and I also love plus size, so it had two things going for it. It sold for $25. After the $5 in fees, I made $20 in profit, and that had been listed since January 19th, so just under a month on that one. Next up was this Carhartt Dalton half zip fleece size large. Carhartt and Flax are both those brands that whenever I get a piece from those brands, it does typically seem to move pretty quickly. This fleece had been listed since January 14th, so less than a month. It sold for $15. After the $3 in fees, I was left with 12. And I was in a store, I can't remember, maybe it was Costco that had Carhartt pieces. Oh, it was Meyer. Meyer had Carhartt. Um, and it seemed pretty expensive. So, like, pretty expensive, like, like $30 to $50 a piece for something like this. So, people are, as they, that is like a work basic, leaning into secondhand market for those things. Next up were these Rothy's, the Point Casual Flats Red size 7. Now, Rothy's do not get the love that they used to get. Um, and I've had these since June of 27th, 24. The person has issued a return. This is a Poshmark sale. Poshmark does not accept returns for fit, but I do not challenge returns. My husband actually takes uh, unless it's eBay, but that's a different story. Um, and if they don't want it, I'm of the opinion send it back because I'm not out any money. I get the product back. My only caveat is new with tag with things because I can't sell it new with tags after you've like worn it or done whatever. So I haven't checked to see if this is actually coming back. I'm fine if it does because I feel like I let these go a little too cheaply. But they sold for 21 after the $4.20 in fees. I was left with 16.80. Moving on to Mercari, this Ralph Lauren blue and white top size 2X sold for $19.50. After the $2.64 in fees, I was left with $16.86. And then moving to eBay, we had sales on every platform, and something just sold. Um, First off were these Varsity Edge cheer shoes, size 5.5. The order total was $43. The sales tax was $3.50. The transaction fee was $5.96. The shipping label was $5.31, and my earnings for those were $29.04, which is awesome because we don't get that many sales over $25 lately. But Those have been listed since December 9th of 2024. I have two daughters that are cheerleaders. My 22-year-old is a cheerleader for the Indiana University. In fact, last night, she called me. It was her last cheer practice. She is a senior, and tomorrow she is going to cheer her last basketball game. So I'm going to senior night. So I have been a cheer mom for about 20 years, and then my little one is also a cheerleader. She does all-star cheer, and I'm gonna tell you, cheer shoes are like $100, and they go through multiple pairs in a season. And if they do school cheer, there's all-star cheer, there's school cheer football, there's school cheer competition, there's school cheer basketball. So I know those who aren't in the cheer world don't realize it, but you could end up spending well over $400 in cheer shoes each season. Luckily, because my oldest was cheering for the university, they took care of her shoes. But oh, and on top of that, you also have your running shoes that you have to do conditioning in. So, little known fact about cheerleading. And also another fact about cheerleading, the Adidas cheer shoe line of cheer shoes. Adidas has discontinued their cheer shoes, and I know for both of my girls, those were their favorite cheer shoes. So I know I'm looking for them used. I sold a pair used a few weeks ago for about $50. So that is, if you see Adidas cheer shoes out there, I would definitely look up comps and consider picking them up. Clean them up. That's okay if they're a little ugly. Get your OxyClean and clean them up. Now, if they have holes, let them go. But if they are just dirty, I would get those and clean them up because somebody might want those to practice in or for tumbling. And I know you're thinking it's crazy that this lady knows so much about cheer shoes, but I'm sure if your kid plays hockey, you know all about that gear. Next up was this J. McLaughlin sleeveless cream dress. It was new with tags, absolutely beautiful. I did pick it up at a consignment shop. I had like $7 into it, so it is one of the rare things that didn't come from the Goodwill Outlet. The order total was 81.70. The sales tax was 400 or 400 $4.99. This was like a $400 dress. That's why I have 400 in my head. The transaction fee was 14.87. The shipping label was 5.31, and my earnings on that were 56.53. I love sales that are over $30, but definitely 50 over 50. I don't get if I'm lucky to get a couple of those a month, I get so excited about them. Next up on Depop was this Madewell new tag camel stripe cream top. It was a 2XL. And so plus size in any brand, but especially those brands like for Anthropology and Madewell and J. Crew, I love picking up because those are more like what are considered traditional brands, not like Torrid or Eloquii or Lane Bryant that are brands that are specifically plus size brands. This sold have been listed since January 19th, so just about a month, and it sold for $19 after the $1.32 in fees. Was left with 17.68. Oh, we have more Poshmark. They must have came in right before I went to bed. Um, on Poshmark, we have this Athleta Brooklyn wide leg pant, size 4. This person has also issued a return for fit. Poshmark does not accept return for fit. So if you are looking at this as not a reseller but a Poshmark shopper, make sure you look at the measurements in the garment. Um, and also, if you are a reseller, go ahead and do that extra step to protect yourself and include measurements. This did sell for $25. After the $5 in fees, I made 20, and those had only been listed for 10 days. So I'm okay with them coming back to me. I will resell them. Next up was this Maury Lee by Madeline Gardner formal dress, size 16. So I went through a phase of picking up formal dresses for myself to wear. to my niece's wedding. And so this has sat and sat and sat in my closet for, 'cause she's going on being married for 2 years. And then I finally decided, like, I wore something else, um, because this is navy blue, and the mother of the brides were wearing navy blue, and I didn't know that. And then when I found out about that, I didn't want to wear navy blue because I wasn't, I'm a non. I didn't want to wear that. So I decided to go ahead and list it. It's been listed since April 26th of 2024. It was a bins pickup. It sold for $20. After $4 in fees, I was left with 16. And our totals for the day, Poshmark 105.85, Mercari $16.83, eBay $85.57, Depop $17.68, for a total of $225.96. 11 items sold for an average sale price of $20.54. Great day. I am looking forward, I'm manifesting, I'm looking forward to the day that every day is that good or better. I already see that I made a mistake on Monday. So the Maury Lee dress actually sold on Monday and not Sunday. So Sunday's total is $16 left. So, and one item less. But so I'm not going to repeat that. So we had four sales on Poshmark on Monday. First up is this refined Ireland Ringer T size medium. It was like that, like casual sporty vibe. It sold for $16 after the $3.20 in fees. Why is it like that? Maybe that's what it is. 20%. $12.80 in my pocket. That had been listed since October 21st of 24. Next up were these Miss Me signature bootcut jeans, size 29. They have been listed since November 19th. They sold for $23 after the $4.60 in fees. I was left with $18.40. Then we had this Eileen Fisher Gosnett uh, top, black, size large. It sold for $15 after the $3 in fees. I was left with 12. So far, everything has been a bins pickup, and it had been listed since February 2nd. I don't know why it let that go so cheaply. Well, next up, sometimes my husband accepts offers that he should not. It's getting hot out here, and I'm drinking coffee, so that's heating me up a little bit too. Okay, next on Poshmark, we have these Coach leopard print pumps, size 6. These have been listed since May 5th of 2022. So this is an example of one of my items that I only do closet clear out on shoes once a month, but over the years they've just dropped and dropped and dropped. So they dropped down to $11. So someone got a steal of a deal. Um, After the $2.95 in fees, I was left with 805. Pretty sure those were a bins pickup, but it's been so long I don't even remember. Glad to see them go, and I'm glad a girlfriend got a deal. Then moving on to Mercari, were these Adidas neon pink and yellow Climalite sneakers, size 5. I actually think that some of the small size shoes sit for me. Um, for long periods of time, but I actually think some of these small shoe sizes might just be a reflection of the economy and that people are just trying to go secondhand on things for their kids, whereas in the past they might have splurged and but everything's gone up so much, which is good for us resellers. So source. Um, But these sold for $11. After the $1.10 in fees, I made $9.90. They have been listed since August 10th of 2023. Another older pair of shoes. This was eBay. On eBay, we had 6 cents. These Jessica Simpson sandals, open toe heels. Jessica Simpson is not a brand that I pick up anymore. I think it actually might be sold at Kohl's, maybe. But these were 9.5, so they're a bigger size. But I think it was the brand that kept these from selling. But the order total was 14.86. The transaction fee was 2.29. The shipping label was 6.36, and my earnings came to 6.21. Next up on eBay was this airy, oversized cardigan sweater, tan. The order total was 19.24. Oh, the sun's starting to get in my eyes. Uh, the sales tax was 83 cents. The transaction fee 3.91. Shipping label was 7.01 and earnings 8.05. And that had been listed since February 15th, so it had been listed for a year. Next up, I must have started that really, really high. On eBay were these Vineyard Vines, this Vineyard Vines Party Stripe Boat Neck Tee, size 3X. Once again, it is a plus size. It's one of those non-plus size traditional brands, which sometimes can get you in trouble because sometimes the sizing is way off. That's why we include measurements. And the person did issue a return on this, so it is on its way back to me. But the order total was 24.57. The transaction fee was 4.75. The shipping label was 4.57. Earnings were 15.25. That had been listed for a month, so since January 17th. So we will get that relisted and it should sell again pretty quickly. Next up were these Alfred Dunner, which is not a brand that I traditionally pick up, but they were new with tag, allure pants, super stretch, size 18 black. The order total, so I picked them up because they were new with tag and a size 18. The order total is 24.06. The sales tax is 139. The transaction fee was 4.66. My shipping label was 7.67, and my earnings came to 10.31. And those have been listed since September 19th. Next up on eBay was a soft surrounding Siesta Key gauze top, pink 2X. I love the brown soft surrounding, and so I only pick it up in size larges and up unless it's a substantial piece that is heavily embroidered, embellished, because they do have some like really cool pieces that can get more money in the smaller sizes. But I noticed for me, these basics, I only pick up if they're plus size. The order total was 18.01. The sales tax was 149. The transaction fee was 3.59. Shipping label 4.52. Ad fee 36 cents. And earnings 8.06. Then finally on eBay we have this uh, this Kappa's men's newsboy cap, cream size small. This had been listed since November 20th of 23, and the order total was 21.18. The sales tax was 161. Transaction fee 4.15. Shipping label 4.57. Earnings 10.81. So for the day, Poshmark was 67.25. Mercari $9.90, eBay 58.80, and my earnings for the day were $134.11 for those 12 items for an average sale price of $11.18. Had to move the party inside. The pool deck was getting a little loud, and so I came back to my hotel room. So we'll finish up, and then I can go back outside and go to the beach. it is 9 o'clock, and I need to check out of here by 12 because that's when checkout is. But my flight doesn't leave till 3:50, so I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go grab some lunch somewhere. But let's get this done. Then beach time for Stephanie. Where did I leave off? Okay, Tuesday, February 18th. Slow day, only 3 sales. Tuesday tends to be slow. It's my slump day just because I don't have anything going on, just the regular offers to likers sent out on Poshmark by Posher VA, and then, if someone offers offers to watchers on eBay. But first up, we had this blue salt long sleeve v-neck sweater, gray size medium. It had been listed since February 2nd, so just, what is that? 16 days, 2 weeks. It sold for $34 after the $6.80 in fees. I made $27.20, so that was good. Then on Mercari, we had these coconuts by Mutis Gaucho boots, size 10. They were man-made materials, but they had been listed since October 7th. They sold for $32 after the $3.99 in fees. I was left with $28.01. And then on eBay, we had this Abercrombie fleece jacket gray sale. It was size medium. The order total was $23.41. The sales tax $195. The transaction fee, I'm going to put my notebook up here so I don't have to look down, was ship. The transaction fee was $4.54, and the shipping label was $8.71. My earnings came to $8.21. That had been listed since March 26th of 2023. So bye. And it was a Ben's pickup. The blue salt was from a consignment shop, and that haul might be forthcoming. It might already be up. So just a little editor's note here. So I have been, when I get home, recording the haul, because I've been going to the bins every day. When I'm at home, I just go every day, do 2 rotations. The goal is to get my 20 to 25 items because that's what we list each day. And then I come home, I do the haul, and I wash them. And so, but I don't always edit the haul, so I'm behind in my haul videos. So they're coming. Because I have to space them out because you guys don't want to see hauls every day. Because sometimes there's nothing fun in them. And I think I'm going to start batching them up. We'll see. But anyway, for the day, the total, since there was one sale on each platform, on Poshmark, Mercari, and eBay, the total came to $63.42, and the average sale price was $21.14 for the day. Wednesday, February 19th. So Wednesdays is when I typically send out my offers to likers. Offers to likers. So on offers to likers, there's no shipping discount, and it does not lower the price forever. So I have developed this pattern. So currently, if you just like an item, my Posher VA is going to send you a 20% off discount or offer to liker. So there's already like a baseline of 20% there. So the first of the month, week of the month, we are going to do 30% off, then second week 40, third week 50, fourth week 60 on the oldest 25% of the closet. So everything doesn't get 60% off, just the oldest. So I literally see how many active listings that I have on Poshmark, and then I go through and divide by 4 so I know what the oldest 25% is, and then I send 60% off offers. I'm going to try that pattern for the year just so that I can clear out older things and kind of keep the closet like fresh and current, and I don't end up with things that are 2 to 3 years old and I figure I might as well go ahead and send that 60% off offer and move it and recoup my investment than sit on it for 2 years and still only make 550 off of it. So let me know in the comments what you guys think about that. I might do a whole nother video about my markdown strategy, but I think I was kind of absent of one. And then I'd get like my husband who manages the inventory would be like, we don't have any box space. You need to sell some stuff. And then I'd throw a big sell. So let me know how you mark things down and sell off older inventory. So since I do send out offers on Wednesdays, some weeks the sales are a lot and some they're not. But this week we had 4 Poshmark sales, and we'll start with this Eileen Fisher V-neck sweater, pink extra large. It sold for $18 after the $3.60 in fees. I made $14.50, and it had been listed since February 2nd. I do find a lot of Eileen Fisher in the Goodwill Outlet, so to the point that I don't pick it up anywhere else. Next up was this Big Ball Sports UK sweatshirt, gray size large. I expected this to sit. It was actually given to me. One of the women in my book club, she brought over, or I went and picked up 6 bags of items from her for free, and I sorted through them, and one of them was a Michael Kors purse that sold in one day for $60. It must have been like super special. But so thank you, friend, if you're watching. But this sweatshirt was in that as well, so I expected to sit for a while, but it sold for $12 after the $2.95 in fees. I was left with $9.05. And sourcing strategy: tell everyone you know you resell, and if they have things that, so when you tell people they're going to want you to buy their clothes from them to resell, be very clear, unless that's what you want to do. But I am very clear that I don't do that any longer. But if you want to donate and help out my small business that supports my family, I would appreciate that. And especially my church family, they love to help me out. Next up was this Lululemon Align high-rise capri leggings, black size 4. They sold for $28 after the $5.60 in fees. I was left with $22.40. I'm always going to pick up Lulu. I typically find it at the bins in like groups. So when people get rid of their Lululemon, they get rid of all of it. And I typically can find a piece a day with each haul. Next up on Poshmark were these Okai Kamulu ankle chukka boot, size 11. These had been listed since November 7th of 24. They sold for $20 after the $4 in fees. I made $16. Then on eBay, I had 2 sales. The first was this Adidas Originals Firebird track jacket, size large. It sold, the order total was $72.71. So this is an example of why I go through this, because a lot of people who create content, they're going to tell you this sold for $72.71, and you're going to think, cool, they made $72 off this one item that they got from the Goodwill for $1.79. I can do this as a full-time job. And then they're going to get super frustrated when you find out my actual profit off of this was $46.23, because the order total and the earnings are 2 different numbers. So and you want that net number. I want to share that net number with you guys because that's what actually goes in my pocket. So even though I started, the order total was 72.71. The sales tax was $5.54. The transaction fee was $13.27. The shipping label was $7.67, and then we came to what I had left over, $46.23. So be careful of those because it took me years to figure out, like, why don't I have those big dollar numbers? Um, Kind of scammy. Next up on eBay was this We the Free thermal knit pullover, green, size extra large. The order total was $16.62. The sales tax $148. Transaction fee $334, and then shipping label $521, and then my earnings were $659. So there was over $10 in fees in that order that come out of the order total. Next up to on the Depop, I had one order, and Depop is popping along. It's actually doing better for me than Mercari. This polo Ralph Lauren quarter zip sweater size medium sold. The order total was $17.80, and the processing fee was $133, and my earnings were $16.47. So for the day, Poshmark $61.85, eBay $52.82, and then Depop $16.47. Total for the day $131.14 for those 7 items, and my average sale price was $18.73. So Thursday was a busy day. We had a total of 14 sales, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 of those were Poshmark. So what happens when I run the offers to likers later in the day, the items tend to sell later in the day or even the next day. And I think that's what happened here. But let's get into what sold. So first off, we had these Levi's 501 straight leg denim, black, size 34. They were at men's. They had been listed since July 1st of 24. They sold for $17 after the $350 in fees. I was left with $16.30. Then next up on Poshmark was this Ashley Stewart midi shirt dress tan, size 18, example of something that continually got marked down that I never raised back up. So it sold for $7 after the $2.95 in fees. I only made $4.05. That had been listed since October 21st. Then on Poshmark was this Arc'teryx zip-up athletic jacket, blue, size medium. It had been listed since October 8th, and it sold for $20 after the $4 in fees. I was left with $16. Then on Poshmark, and I feel like this might be returned because they say they are Carhartt sweatpants, brown, extra large, but they're a boy's extra large, and I'm not sure, but they were in the men's section, like they were listed as men's on accident, even though it says boys in the listing. So if they didn't read all the way, it's going to be returned. But anyway, they sold on Poshmark. They'd only been listed since January 20th, and they sold for $9. That's how you can tell they were kids, because kids' things go for less. After the $2.95 in fees, I was left with $6.05, and actually I meant to put those in the pile 4 that I take to the kids' consignment store, and so they should have never been listed anyway. So we'll see what happens. Next up, we have this Madewell texture and thread wrap crop top, and it was black, size medium. It sold for $9 after the $2.95 in fees. I was left with $6.05. It had been listed since June 28th. And then we had this cabbie cap sleeve jersey knit jumpsuit, black, size medium. And it sold for $13 after the $2.95 in fees. I was left with $10.05, and that had been listed since November 7th. So far, everything has been a bins pickup. Moving on, we had this J. Crew Sophie cardigan, gray size large. It had been listed since February 15th, so over a year on that one. And it sold for $12 after the $2.95 in fees. I was left with $9.05. Then on Poshmark, we had this Levi Strauss chambray pearl snap shirt, size extra large. That one had been listed since January 14th, so just about a month on that one. I love anything pearl snap, and I always add the keywords like rodeo, western, southwestern, country. I live in an area where there is a lot of country concerts, and I work at our concert venue with my daughter's cheer group as a fundraiser, and so I see a lot of pearl snaps, so I always pick it up at the bins. But this one sold for 15 after the $3 in fees. I was left with 12. And then these Nike Waffle 1 shoes, black, size 9, were mine. I picked these up on the way back from Posh Fest. I stopped at an outlet mall and I got them for myself. um, I have sold probably 3 or 4 pair of tennis shoes that are in excellent condition, worn once or twice by me, because something with my big toes, like the way they're rubbing. I don't know if it's because I am working out more. Now I'm on the treadmill longer. Um, but yeah, they just did not feel right. They were like a little too snug on my foot. So I sold them. And so those had been listed since January 7th. They sold for 28 after the 560 in fees. I was left with 22.40. Moving on to eBay. So this unbranded Bible verse sweatshirt was one of the items that was in the 6 bags of clothing that my friend gave me. And so it I sorted the stuff. So I sorted it into 3 piles. One, I was not going to list it all. I was just going to donate. Um, then we're going to list. This is valuable. We can get $15 or more for it. That went to, we can list for $15 or more. So that went through our normal processing. And then I'm like, these probably can't go for 15, but I can put them on auction on eBay. So that was where this fell. And so it was, I actually think I actually just listed it on eBay, but the order total, it was only listed for 2 days and it sold. So the order total was 1201. The sales tax was 83 cents. The transaction fee was 193. The shipping label was 509, and my earnings were 413. And like, yeah, that I listed it and it sold like 2 days later. So I was like, it's crazy to me what people, and I forgot the Bible verse. If I have a photo, I'll pop it up here. If it was my size, I would have kept it. The next step was this Fabletics Plus Activewear Top Pink size 3X. The order total on this was 1666. The sales tax was 83 cents. The transaction fee was 334. My shipping label was 580 and my earnings were $6.66. That had been listed since June 25th. And then our other eBay sale was this Jones & Co. casual legging, olive green. I only picked them up because they were a size 2X. The order total was $19.01. The transaction fee was $3.76. Shipping label $7.01. Earnings $8.24. So I'm going to tell you guys something about sizing, and I'll probably do another video about this. People are bigger than what you think they are. People look at me. I am an extra large, and a large extra large. I'm working on losing weight just for health reasons, but and I wear about a 12, 14, sometimes 16 in a pant. 16s are kind of big, but I also don't like stuff tight. I am a lot of, like, of my friend group, my true friends, I'm probably like the second smallest. We have a friend that is like a size 4. She's nominally, the rest of us are like bigger women, but we're like normal size women. So pick up the bigger sizes, because even though you are like a 00, like both of my girls are tiny. My oldest girl, Courtney, she is tiny. She's like a 4'6". I don't remember being a 4'6", but when I look at her, I was like, I think I was smaller than you when I was 22. Probably not, but in my head I was. And then my other one is a 000 in women's. Now she's only 11 years old, but I think she actually might be up to double zeros. But women their size are very, I don't think that there are as many small people. Once you start having kids and you get those hips and stuff, some of y'all are super genetically blessed and you don't have to worry about weight gain or anything like that. But most of us are got a little tone to us, a little fluff to us. And so that's why I am really focusing on larger sizes, because I think people naturally, what we consider larger is actually normal. That's all I'm saying. Now I'm not saying like um that people are morbidly obese, but there are a lot of plus size people. But that extra large to 1X, like 2X range, I know a lot of 2X people who you would not believe that they were actually a 2X. So, like, when you look at them, you would not believe that they were a 2X. They just, how people carry their weight and how they want to style their clothes. So, keep that in mind when you're sourcing. So this next item is kind of an example of what I just said. So this Soma quilted barn coat, yellow, size extra large. I bought it for myself. Now, and I picked it up at the bin. So I bought it thinking, okay, if I don't like it, I'll just list it. Um, I thought it was a cute little spring color. And here in central Indiana, like it's not freezing cold, but you need a little something on. And I thought this would be cute, like to run errands in, and it's lightweight. But it's an extra large, and it was just a little like it fit, but I wanted it more of like an oversized tailored look. Um, and so I would need a 2X in that if to achieve the look that I want, even though I am not a 2X traditionally. So, I mean, it sold, it listed February 12th. I listed it on February 12th and it sold on the 20th. So, what, 6 days later? So, I'm telling you, larger sizes. Order total was 25 on that. The processing fee was 163 and my earnings were 23.37. And so probably to get the kind of look like that I have been seeing on Instagram and stuff with jackets like that, that person is probably actually a large. And to get that like oversized tailored look, crop look, they needed to size up. So our final sale for the day was this American Eagle Mom Jean Black size 8. These have been listed since October 25th and they sold for $16 after the processing fee of $1.24. My earnings were $14.76. So for the day, Poshmark, I made $99.25, eBay $19.03, Depop $38.13, and the total for the day was $156.41. Those 14 items. The average sale price was $11.17. So Thursday was big, and then Friday I was like, oh yes, we're going into the weekend, we're going to keep it rolling. And it was like trickles, just 2 sales, both on Poshmark, and not a big day at all. So that's the thing about this business. There is definitely a give and take. So we had this Intimately Free People bodysuit brown size large sale. It had been listed since June 27th It sold for $8 after the $2.95 in fees. I only made $5.05. And then also on Poshmark, these J. Jill cargo pants, olive green, that 2X. That's the second pair of pants in olive green. Is olive green a thing this season? Let me know in the comments if you know anything about olive green. But they sold for $10 after the $2.95 in fees. I was left with $7.05. My total for the day was only $12.10 for those two items, making my average sale price of $6.05. So at least it wasn't a zero sales day. And we end the week with Saturday, February 22nd, and we had 10 sales. So in my head, I would like to have at least 10 sales a day that are $15 or more. My stretch goal is like 15 to 20. So that's all about sourcing the correct thing and pricing correctly and all of that, which I'm constantly tweaking to get there. So whenever I have a day of 10 sales or more, or a day that is, over $250, I get super excited. But let me share with you what sold. So we had 6 sales on Poshmark, and I know some of you are like, Poshmark is slow. People, trust me, I get a lot of low ball offers on Poshmark. I do, I do. I'm just like all of you, and I decline some of them, but I also have over 3,000 items listed. So if it is a lower ball offer and it's something that I've had, um, like I've been really focusing in, I want to flip my closet 4 times a year. I want things to sell in 90 days or less. So with that thinking, if it's older than 90 days, I'm much more likely, like, not to give it away, but to definitely counter and have a little back and forth. Now, some of y'all are reasonable. I personally think, as far as offers, you are not serious if you don't even come with at least 50% of the list price. Let's start there. Don't give yourself a 70% discount off at the start, because that is not going to work. But first off, we had these Levi's 505 men's relaxed fit jeans, uh, size 40. And I will say, on this day, Friday was closet clear out, and I didn't do it until right before I went to bed. So some of these might be a result of closet clear out on Friday. But these sold for 10 after the $2.95 in fees. I was left with 705, and those had been listed since October 30th. Next up on Poshmark was this Urban Outfitters Skies Are Blue knit blazer, black, size 2X. It sold for $12 after the $2.95 in fees. I was left with 905, and that had been listed since November 13th. Then we had these Anthropology open-toed sandals, size 9. These were new with tag. So I bought these from Anthropology years ago. They sat in my closet. I didn't wear them. They were super flat. That's why they look so cute, and they are so cute on, but they're like a espadrille, super flat. I knew that I was not going to wear them after I got them, and then they were on clearance on Anthro, and so I had ordered them with a bunch of stuff, and it was like, oh, I just need one more thing to get the free shipping or whatever. I don't remember what it was, but I got these, and so I couldn't return them, and so they sat for a while in my closet. But someone finally got a cute pair of sandals that are new with tag for $16 after the $3.20 in fees. I was left with $12.80. Those had been listed since August 5th of 23, and I probably actually let them sit in my closet for a year before that, before I was like, Stephanie, you're not wearing these. You need to sell them. And then on Poshmark, we had this Isabel maternity jegging, size 16. I find in maternity clothes the larger sizes sell, maybe because little people, when they're pregnant, can just move into bigger, regular, non-maternity clothes. But they sold for 12. After the $2.95 in fees, I was left with 905. Those had been listed since August 27th of 23. When I was doing live auctions consistently, I had a maternity auction, and so I have a lot of maternity things. The sell through rate wasn't awesome on that. It was either feast or famine. I'd have a lot of sales or zero sales at all, so I discontinued that. I am looking at a time in my day where in March where we're gonna do a live auction every day in March. Um, I think I'm just gonna do a power hour, do 30 minutes on whatnot, then come and do 30 minutes on Posh each day for 30 days. So be looking for the details on that. And that will be all new with tag dough and ray pieces because I just want to clear out some of that inventory from our pallet sale. Next up, another maternity item. And I have, every time I find these, they do sell. I expected them to go for more, but oh well. These had been listed since February 3rd, and they're the blank you maternity legging black size extra large. They sold for $15 after the $3 in free fees. I was left with 12. Then our final sale on Poshmark was this packed long sleeve hooded tee green size large. It had been listed since February 10th, so just 12 days. It sold for $10 after the $2.95 in fees. I was left with 705. Sometimes things like that I pick up that are like just kind of basic that I pick up at the bins. Even though that I'd only have that listed for 12 days, I know that's like not a heavy hitter, so I'm just gonna let that go. If it had been a more substantial piece, I would have definitely wanted more money for it. And I forgot what I had it priced at. But then moving on to eBay, we have 3 eBay sales and 3 more, and then I get to go to the beach. Yay! So this is BCBG Max Azria, the Amelie shift dress white size large. The order total was $12.31. The transaction fee was $1.96. The shipping label was $5.31, and my profit was $5.04. I am so happy to be rid of this piece. I've probably had it since 2022. It is not even on our list perfectly. Then we had this Miss Eileen nightgown, blue size 1X. I do like picking these up in plus sizes. Actually, this is our Mercari sale. I've got it sandwiched in between the eBays. It had been listed since February 9th. It sold for $18 after the $2.52 in fees. I made $15.48. Then on eBay, these Koi Capri Classic Narrow Sneaker Black size 5 had been listed since November 26th. And the order total was $82.47 on these. The sales tax $5.65, transaction fee $14.99, shipping label $9.31, and earnings $52.52. And then the last item to sell for the week was this Eddie Bauer neutral striped cardigan, size 2X. I'm telling you, 2X is my hot spot. It had been listed since February 13th, so just 7 days, and the order total was $22.94, sales tax $145, transaction fee $446, shipping label $549, and my earnings $11.54. Almost everything I've sold this week was a bins pickup. Had a few items that were consignment shop items, but my goal of just kind of strictly laser focusing on the bins and going 2 hours a day, finding what I can. Sometimes I find like 10 pieces, but just really focusing in on a low cost of goods has really been beneficial. Just I've seen success even in this last month. Even though going to the Goodwill is more fun and relaxing, the bins you need to get in there, get shoulder to shoulder, and it is work. There is nothing passive about it. But Our totals for the day: Poshmark $57, eBay $69.10, Mercari $15.48 for a total of $141.58 for those 10 items, with an average sale price of $14.16. For the week, after all is said and done with fees, shipping, all that, we made $864.72. We sold 59 items, and our average sale price was $14.66. So let me know in the comments down below how your week is going. But before I take off, I did say I wanted to talk to you guys about how I am sourcing as we move to a point of transition. So I source at the Goodwill Outlet, and it is very much a get what you get when you can get it situation, because it is the bins. But right now, my primary focus for sourcing is spring and summer. I have been going over to the shoes a little bit, looking for sandals, wedges, sneakers that are not like horrible. But as far as clothing items, I'm leaning into maxi dresses always do well for me, but any type of dress in any size, so even the smaller sizes. And I am also leaning into men's longer form cargo shorts, as well as things that are going to fit into that preppy, um, old money, quiet luxury, and coastal chic aesthetics. So just a lot of what we would consider basics, and that is what I'm focusing on. But before, I haven't given up on out of season things, so boots, coats, sweaters. But at this point, it's got to be super special and something that would list for $30 or more. I just don't want to tie up my resale sources in things that are out of season, unless they're going to be a heavy hitter when the season comes. Or if I found a Jenny Kane sweater, I would snatch it up. So that is how I'm proceeding with my sourcing. And I'm still trying to pick up between 20 to 25 items a day. My goal in March is to list 25 items every day. And then in June to ramp up to 30 items every day. Then the goal is to get to 50 items every day. Right now, I can list about 15 items in an hour, so I gotta increase my speed, so I'm not spending all day listing and at the bins. So that's what I got going on. That's how I'm trying to approach things. And that's it for this video. It is beach time, so I'm gonna go enjoy my last few hours in Miami, and I will see you soon. Be sure to do all the things and comment down below. Let me set the scene. We hustle hard, stacking green, living out the dream. From clothes and kicks, we got